Okay, make sure everything is running. I think everything is running. I think we've got it all set up. And I think we are good to go. Yep, I think we are good to go. So, let's go. Hello, travelers, and welcome back to Guardian Studios. Or if you're new to the channel, welcome to you. My name is JGar1, host, guide, and humble bard into the worlds virtual and fantastical, including this, Seeker's Realm. So, yeah, welcome to Seeker's Realm, episode 6. Today, we're going to be doing a lot. Or at least, I hope we're going to be doing a lot. Because there is a lot that needs doing. First and foremost, I need to move this mailbox. It's kind of in the way of me getting out to where I need to be. So we're going to actually move it down here. I mean, this is kind of where a mailbox should be anyway. In front of the house. Not on the house. In front of the house. So, last time, you guys may remember, we started working on doing some farming. We started preparing different parts of the build, of the base. We got the house pretty much furnished up in this upper main section. I got a sofa. I got a bedroom with its dedicated desk. Doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but I kind of like it. I like having the desk. Ah! Get you out of my head. We also got a table over here, some chairs, and we made an attic that I've already decided we're going to dedicate to making into my enchanting space. Isn't that cool? We can pop open the window, duck in, close it up. That'll be good for if when we have a way to fly, we happen to decide to land on the roof and climb into the house from above. That'll be pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And the house got working fireplaces both in the upper section and down here in the lower section. Although the lower section is a little different in design. I forgot. I decided to keep this design for down here because there was enough room for it. Upstairs, there isn't. Down here we also have... I lost track of what I was saying. Down here we've also got room for some different machines that we're going to build for item processing, because we are going to need space for that. Because there will be some item processing happening down here, and we're going to need that to be installed soon. We're not going to install much of it today. We might install one or two mechanisms to get some items automatically processing. And then we've also got this little chamber over here, which is going to be for something very special. But we'll get to that another time. I'm still not sure if I'm ready to work on that particular part of things yet. But I figured today is the day we start doing some farming. Or rather, we prepare for some farming. We've already got pigs, chickens, cows, and sheep all set up in pens, but that's not really gonna do it as far as the animal farming goes. We need to have things a bit more organized than this. We need things more organized, we need things more structured, and I need somewhere to put the crops. Because out in the open is okay, but stuff's going to be walking through here inevitably, and something's going to trample my crops. I just know that something's going to trample crops. Plus, this is nice and satisfying, farming the crops ourselves. Not very efficient, though. So that's something I want to try to get started on preparing a fix for today as well. Now, to do any of this, I need to first get the animals out of this space over here, put them somewhere off to the side where they will be out of the way, contained, and not a problem. So we're going to set up a fenced-in area over here where I can put the animals. It's not going to be a very big area, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to be big enough to hold them. It's big enough to hold them all and keep them out of my way while I tear down those pens, move the crop farm temporarily, and then build something over here. And for anybody curious what that something is going to be, well, what buildings do you associate with farms? And actually, while I let you stew on that thought, let me do something real quick. Open the waypoint menu. I need to disable that. And disable that. I guess disable that one too. Just because seeing the waypoints in the physical is getting a little annoying. Wait a minute. Turn those back on. Just thought of something. I can probably change render waypoint backgrounds. Well, map waypoints on. Aha! There you go, Ham. A barn. Yep, that is something I'm going to do today. I'm going to try to at least get ready to build a barn. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to build a barn, and in the process, make it so that I have somewhere more organized to put the animals. I need to see, how do I make it so that I don't have to see the waypoints in the world? Because that's starting to get to be a little annoying. That's definitely not it. I'm still getting used to some of these elements. Okay, is it that I have to scroll them down? What do I have to do? Minimap settings. Waypoints. That's not... Waypoint settings. Aha. On map, in-game waypoints. Off. There we go. There we go. That works. That probably did it. Yep, now we don't have to see them out in the real world. We can just see them up on the minimap. And that's actually how I would have preferred it in the first place. Don't get me wrong, I'll probably turn that back on if I go exploring, but right now, I don't really need it. So, now, I need to make another couple of fences so that I can finish that spot and put the animals away. Basically, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to try to get started building, or at least getting the resources to build a barn, like Ham guessed. And then, once I've got the barn built, we're going to put all the animals inside. Now, the barn is also going to have a sister structure of sorts. A second structure. A grain silo. Which will actually... Either a grain silo... Actually, we'll do a grain silo. And that'll be storage for crops. But farming the crops is something we also need to... Like I was saying before, we need to automate that too. Because right now, it's not automated, so it's kind of slow. It's kind of slow to get any amount of crops. Normally, in vanilla, you just have to deal with it and maybe bone meal the crops or use bees to your advantage. But I can't transport bees right now. I can't transport beehives. You need Silk Touch to do that, and I don't have Silk Touch. So, next best thing to do is... And actually, the better thing to do is to automate the crop farming. And with Create Mod, we'll be able to do that. So we are going to do that. Can I pick you up now? Yes, I can. One of the mods in the mod pack is called Carry On, and it makes it so that you can actually pick up mobs, as well as containers and tile blocks. So furnaces, chests, of all kinds. You can pick them up and move them like this. And you can also move, like I said, you can move mobs of all kinds to wherever you want them to be. You can even use this to move villagers, which we will be taking advantage of later. Now, I'm just going to move 2 to 4 of each of the animals out of the pen, put them in the new pen over here, which I will light up, and then we will be able to use them to restock later. Actually, I may get rid of 2 of the sheep. What I might do is knock it down to 2 of each, and then we will... Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move 2 of these sheep back in here, and then we will eliminate them. And from 2 of each animal, we will make our herds once again. Just seems like an easier way to go doing that. Because there's not a lot of room in the pen, and I don't want to overcrowd stuff. I want to keep things organized. How many cows have I got? 2? 2 cows, 2 pigs, 2 sheep. Now we just need the 2 chickens. Actually, I may keep all the chickens. Nice thing about the mod pack is I also added a mod called Chicken's Shed. And Chicken's Shed makes it so that chickens not only lay their eggs, they also shed feathers now and then. So, you don't have to kill the chickens for feathers if you don't want to. You can just have them be passively dropping the feathers where you can pick them up. It's a really, really useful little feature. It's one of those things where you don't realize you want it, or that you could make use of it, until you actually experience it. And then once you've experienced it, you realize, hey, this is something that I wish could be done in the real thing. One benefit of doing this is also that we get some of the resources from these guys pretty quickly. Alright. So we've got that. Now we can take out these. And we still have to move the crops, because I'm not sure how big this barn is going to get to be. But we are going to do a barn. We're going to make it big enough that we can fit all 4 of the major animal types. And we're also going to have an upper section for storage. In fact, it might temporarily be where we do most of our storage for now. Simply because that'll make it easy to go up there and put things away. But we'll see. We'll see. One thing I definitely know is, as we go along building things up, we will try to incorporate Create and its different components for the sake of automation. Both automation in moving items around and in just flat out sorting, processing, and or producing some of those resources. Like the crops. We will automate crop farming as much as we are able to do for every crop and or resource that we are able to do that for. And there goes my axe again. Ugh. Can't count the number of times I've broken an axe at this point. But again, I'm still using mostly stone equipment, stone and iron equipment, because I don't have villagers yet. And that's something we're going to fix soon too. We are going to end up fixing my tool situation soon, so that we have diamond tools, and yeah, that's going to be good. We'll probably also get to enchanting soon too, if we get the opportunity, because I do want to stop having to deal with my tools breaking every other second. I just made this pick. Can it stay intact for like 10 seconds? Can it stay intact for 2 minutes? You know what I mean? sometimes it just gets annoying when the tool is constantly breaking. But you don't want to make the good tools until you actually need them. If you don't need the good tools, you don't want to make them yet. Or is that just me? I mean, for all I know, that could just be a thing with me. I honestly don't know. What I do know is I want a golden hoe. I need to make a gold hoe so that I can get more crops back. Because, see, I mentioned this before, but the golden hoe, the golden tools actually have a built-in fortune effect. So, in this mod pack. So, if I do this, I actually get back more of the crops, or the seeds, than I normally would. Which is important because when we go to replant, I want to make sure that I'm getting as much bang for my buck as I can get. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put these in here for now, so that they're where I can easily get to them again when I'm ready to work with them again. Clean up the... Well, actually, I could just do this. Come to think of it, and that would gradually fix itself, right? I mean, eventually the farmland's going to dry out, and then once it's dried out, I'll have more space over here that I can feel comfortable working with. We'll leave the cocoa bean farm where it is. It's not really much of a cocoa bean farm, but it's as close to one as we currently have access, so I'll take what I can get. Now, for the wood type of the barn, I want to use these cherry logs. I am sure there's another wood type that would work. Like, mangrove could work. But I like this deep red of the cherry logs. The deep red is very, very nice. It looks very good. So I kind of want to go ahead and use that. I do. I want to go ahead and use that. It's either that or we need to find this redwood tree type. Which could also be done. Could also be done. I don't know if I'm familiar with that one, huh? I may have to look that up. That might be... Maybe it's a good one. I'll look it up. I'll look it up later. Yeah, I'm thinking this cherry wood will look good as the wood we use for the barn. So we're gonna farm some cherry trees. Thankfully, I've already found that these things are very easy to get more of, especially if we make use of my favorite, so far favorite tool in the Create mod, the mechanical saw and the hand crank. Combine these two and we should be able to get some good use. And plant a couple of these as 2x2s because, if I'm not mistaken, yep, they can be planted as 2x2. So that'll get us some big cherry trees that we can then chop down and get a lot more cherry wood to start building the barn. Now, forewarning, I don't normally build barns, so I'm going to look up a barn. I'll look up a few images of barns, and generally they have a sloped roof. It looks like, kind of like it. Oh, warning? What warning is that? Hey, look at that! The cherry tree's already grown. Or one of them already has. Let's go ahead and get this ready to chop down. So what's the warning you got? Hey, I'm kind of curious. I will never get tired of that. I will never get tired of how satisfying that is to see the whole tree come down from the mechanical saw. That is so cool. Let's go ahead and plant another one, just because I'm not sure how much of this wood we're actually going to need. So the more we have, the better off we'll probably be. Besides, I like the cherry tree idea. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I may still look and see what it's supposed to be. That much I may do. But if you're getting that kind of advice, then I won't be looking into too much of it. Definitely sounds like it's something interesting. Okay, yeah. That is a very pretty red. That is a very pretty red. I like that red. That looks good. Let me see something. In this mod pack, you can have vertical planks. Oh, that looks pretty. That's gonna look great for the farm, for the barn. Vertical planks in that color, gonna look great. Ow! Oh, pardon me. That hurt. Alright. I do want to check one more thing. Walls? Or wall? Yeah, I think that is the best way to go. Yeah, I think what I just went for is the best way to go. I'm still gonna look into those striped lanterns and find out if there's something I'm not seeing with them. Wait a minute. Copper lantern? Oh, that needs blaze powder. Brass? Same thing. Okay. So, I'm not so upset. I was starting to wonder if maybe the lanterns just had, Anyway. Ah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I generally don't look into games too much before I play them. I look and see what they're supposed to be, what kind of game they are, but beyond that, I don't usually do much in the way of research. I don't look into what's going to be in the game because I don't want to spoil it for myself. Okay, so once you make the planks vertical, you can't change them back. That's okay. That's okay. I'm not really planning to change them back. Go ahead and convert all of these into verticals. Because I'm looking at this reference image I found of a barn. I want to work off of this design. From the look of things, a lot of barns have their walls made with vertical planks of wood, and then or vertical siding, and then of course there are these. In the stereotypical barn, you see these white marked doors. And this one that I actually like the design from, it's so simple, but it's got this sloped roof. And that's kind of stereotypical, again, which means it's not always accurate, but it's a nice looking design, so I think I want to go with it. You know what, I think this tree will be enough. I think we might have enough cherry wood for a while. Go ahead and gather up those. And knock out this tree, and that will put us at good condition. And retrieve my tool. Scoop up the logs and the saplings, and we'll put them away. Or at least the ones that we're not going to use. This is cool. This. Alright. Let's get up here and put away the saplings. Because again, we're not going to farm any more of these for a little bit. I may try to get more another time, but right now I think we've got enough. And then put those in there, and let's go see about making this design. Again, it's a simple, kind of stereotypical design in a way, but I like it, so we're going to go with it. I want this to be kind of big, but I want it to be an odd number. If that makes any sense. I want the interior to be odd number in its length across. Well, thinking about it, I should probably just go ahead and make a full bunch of stacks of this. And then do that, and that. Put these in there for good measure, and boom. Go. Yeah, that's probably something. It's a lot of vertical cherry planks, but again, I'm not sure exactly how big this is going to get or how much we're going to need of this wood. Let me count off 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 15 blocks on the inside from one side to the other, and then this way is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Give you back. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Hey there, JJ. Good to see you, buddy. Been a while. How are you doing? Okay, so I think that's good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And then, wait a minute, I lost track again. That's 8. That's 16. 18, 20, 22. Let's go for a solid 24 across on the interior. 24 long by 15 wide. Then we'll put double doors at either end. Try to go for a barn door if we can. I wonder if there is a barn door. If there's a barn door that we can use in this mod pack, then we'll use that. And that'll be perfect. That'll actually fit perfectly with the fact that this is supposed to be a barn. And then I want to outline where I'm going to have windows. Let's see. Maybe right there. A few more blocks over. Maybe ah! I just want to make sure that this will look good, work good. There's plenty of room in here. Yeah, I get that, Jojo. I get that. School is a pain, but we must endure it. Nice thing is that eventually the required schooling ends. Recommended schooling may not, but the required ends. Okay. Maybe I need to have these be 3 blocks in between? I honestly don't know. This is the first time in a long time that I've tried to make a barn. Last time I tried to make a barn, I didn't have access to modded Minecraft, and I did things very differently at the time. by him. What's wrong? What's the matter? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I thought many windows should be good inside. Wait a minute. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. You know what? Let's make it 1 block wider. Keep it odd on all sides, and that'll also make it so that distance between windows can stay even. Or evenly spaced, let's put it that way. Right? No. No, that's not evenly spaced. Wait a minute. What? How have I messed this up? Have I messed this up? I've messed this up. What? Okay, somewhere along the way this is not working. That makes sense, Ham. Yeah, going to a new one, going to a new school can be daunting. Can be daunting. But I'll give you some advice. Advice that I consider good. Relax. I know, that sounds kind of dumb, me saying that, but seriously, don't stress over it. Prepare for it, but don't stress over it. The moment you start to stress over something too much is the moment you're going to hurt yourself. If you stress over something like that, it's just going to make it become a painful thing for you. Best thing to do is to not stress. Just take every day at the new place, one step at a time. Just think about it. It's a new experience. I haven't done Hive in a while, but that's mainly because I've still been readjusting back into my schedule. Ever since February, I believe, I have been struggling to get back into the swing of things with my channel, because, I'll be honest with you, life got busy. Life got busy and hectic to the point of ridiculous, and I could not, for the life of me, find time to do my streaming on a regular schedule again. I wanted to more than anything else. I can promise you that. I wanted to get back to streaming more than anything else, but I just could not find the chance and the time to do it. Life is a mess, and you just can't always plan for everything. And I've been getting a lot of reminders of that lately. In the past few months, I have gotten several reminders of how chaotic life can be. But, thankfully, life is starting to settle back down, so I'm starting to get back into the swing of things, and I would be more than happy to play Fall Guys again, and to get back on the Hive once in a while. The thing is, I need to know that people are actually going to be interested, that they're actually going to come and see. I need people to actually show that they want to come and see the content, that they want to join in on the show, that the content is. That's part of the thing as well. I need to know you guys actually want to see it. And it tends to be a little hard at times to actually know what you guys want to see if I'm not seeing people show up. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Jer. Add armor together? Well, what do you mean? I'm confused. I've heard nothing about adding armor together. What, are you talking about armor trims? As far as I'm aware, armor trims are just decorative. They're extra. They're not actually anything you have to do. Ah. That is actually something that I've had a little bit of experience with. If you don't use a device regularly, it can start to wear itself down, depending on the device, like a computer or a game console. My recommendation would be find someone who can look it over and check it over, make sure that everything inside it works. Maybe all that's wrong with your computer is it needs some cleaning. Okay, so, on the matter of armor trims, I want to point this out, Jer. Armor trims are an optional thing. Armor trims are optional. I've looked at it, and from what I understand, armor trim is just an optional thing you don't have to do. You don't have to do the armor trims. It's just cosmetic. It has no functionality but beyond cosmetics. Now, I have heard that they're making netherite armor harder to get. I don't know how they're making it harder. I haven't looked into that part of it yet. I mostly got curious about the armor trims and the bamboo wood that they're adding, as well as the camel. I really like the fact they're adding a camel. A two-person mount in vanilla for the first time. That, to me, is a fantastic sign that Mojang wants to further encourage playing together. Something that they've been trying to encourage ever since they did the Better Together update for Bedrock. But yeah, armor trims, to my understanding, are just a cosmetic thing that you can do if you want to do them, but it's not something that you have to do, by any means. You never have to do them. Now, bear in mind that I could be wrong. I don't work for Mojang. I don't know if, and I'm not as on the ball on the updates as some YouTubers that follow Minecraft and do Minecraft are. For something like that, I recommend checking out Exumavoid. Check out Exumavoid and his videos. Exuma does a lot of videos where he covers snapshots and updates to Minecraft. And he covers what he can of Bedrock. He does do a lot with Java, but he also covers Bedrock where he can. So, if you want to get the real 411 on that kind of stuff, I recommend checking him out. He'd be the better one to look at to get that kind of info. I'm sure there are others out there that cover Bedrock specifically, but again, he's the one that I know of that definitely goes into that stuff. So I recommend him for that kind of thing. I recommend his channel for that. Yeah, I definitely understand the frustration with some of the things that have been done with Minecraft recently. I can definitely understand that. Like, the glow squid and the warden with the deep dark, they don't seem to serve any major purpose, do they? And that, I can understand being very frustrating. I can understand the frustration with that. I don't really care for the glow squid myself. It's ultimately kind of pointless. The warden, I kind of like, kind of don't like, because it adds a new challenge to get a very good enchantment. Because, let's face it, Swift Sneak is awesome. Swift Sneak is awesome. It's something that I wish they'd added to the game independently a long time ago. But I kind of like that it's also something you have to take a big challenge of a risk to go get. I'll get into the mod thing in a minute here, Jar Jar. I want to continue to address what you were just talking about. I personally like what Mojang is doing, though I do have some complaints. I like the Warden in that it's a new challenge, it's a new boss. What I don't like about it is that you don't get anything for killing it. I mean, look at what you do get is a Skulk Catalyst, to my understanding, and that's it. You don't get anything if you kill it. What makes up for that for me, though, is Swift Sneak. Swift Sneak and the Echo Shards. Although the Echo Shards are ultimately kind of useless in and of themselves. I mean, let's look at what the Echo Shard does. The Recovery Compass, or whatever it's actually called. I call it Recovery Compass. What is the point? I mean, seriously, what is the point of a Recovery Compass? It's not something you're going to really use. I mean, yeah, if you die in a normal or hard or easy world in the world, and you want to be able to go back and get your stuff, yeah, then it's great. But what about hardcore? It's pointless then. And if you're smart enough about how you play, like if you use the F3 screen to keep track of your coordinates, you're not going to need the Recovery Compass. Hey there, Slicky. Good to see you. I don't know if I actually welcomed you already. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so yeah. Recovery Compass, not a big fan of because it's ultimately pointless. If you have other ways of keeping track of where you went, then there's no point. Bedrock Edition, for example, does not need it if you kept show coordinates on and are able to keep track of where your coordinates were around the space where you died. If you know where you were to some degree when you died, you don't need the Recovery Compass. You've got coordinates. So that makes the Recovery Compass pointless, making Echo Shards currently pointless. To me, at least. Glow Squid, not a big fan of, simply because the Glow Ink Sac is not really that useful an item. Excuse me while I take a quick nap in my house. I'm actually quite proud of this house. I got a bedroom with spruce trapdoor walls and a spruce door. Not the most stylish, but I kind of like what I did with it. I made it work, and I like that. So, that's cool. But yeah, Glow Squid, not a big fan of. I like that you can do the glowing signs with the ink. Don't get me wrong. That's kind of cool. But it's a one-off item. It's a one-off item, and glow squids don't really glow. That kind of bugs me. Why call them a glow squid if the only way they glow is that you can see them in the dark? That's the only aspect of them that is glowing at all. You can just see them in the dark. Does it? That wasn't the intention. It's meant to be like a workshop, and the basement half is supposed to be a workshop, the upper half is just a house. So I guess that look kind of works, but it wasn't really my intention. It wasn't quite my intention. Yes, the compass is useful. Helps you find the world spawn, or you can use a lodestone with it. You can use it with a lodestone to be able to find a specific location again in the event that you lose your way. So you make a lodestone, put it in your house, and if you ever forget where your house is, if you've got the recovery compass somewhere you can get it, you just bring it out and you follow the compass back to your home. No, I never have, Slicky. Never played that. Not exactly my ideal cup of tea. At least from what I've seen of it. I may be convinced otherwise one day, but it's never really been my thing. On the skin, you're kind of right on both counts. Initially, I grabbed it because it was a fox, and I like foxes. And then I realized, wait, this is that. It was meant to be that character, but wearing a hoodie. I like that. I mean, I like hoodies, and I like foxes, so it works. And again, I'll get to the mods in a minute. So I totally understand having a little bit of irritation with Mojang for doing these items and animals that don't really have much of a purpose. Again, the only thing that recovers the Warden from me in that kind of way is that we do have a reason for it to be there. It guards the ancient city where you go to find the Swift Sneak enchantment. Yes, I kind of figured that. I figured that you liked foxes a lot. I like foxes. You like foxes. Who doesn't like foxes? Well, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that don't like foxes, but there are a lot of people that do. They're cool. They're fascinating creatures. Then again, that can be said of a lot of different things, so. Why is that? Okay, that's weird. I think my mouse is being a little weird today. Anyway. So, yeah. Yes to the skin on both counts. It is a fox. And I did realize after I grabbed it that it was supposed to be a form of tails. Oh, I see. You prefer that Minecraft have some level of realism to it, right? At least that's the impression you're giving. You'd prefer if Minecraft had some sense of realism to it, and to the creatures that are in it, right? Yeah, I get it. I can understand that. Me, I've always thought of Minecraft as being like this fantasy world. Not necessarily real life. Not necessarily based around real life, because, let's face it, zombies, skeletons... These undead things are not real. They're fantasy. But I can definitely understand preferring to have creatures based on real life, or things like that. I can definitely understand preferring that sort of thing. It makes sense to me. It does. It makes sense. Yes. Minecraft being a fantasy thing is still very good. But yeah, I can understand wanting Minecraft to have a little more realism to it as well. I can definitely understand that. I think that's part of why there's a lot of mod packs out there that try to make Minecraft more realistic in the way that it plays. Like, for example, RLCraft. If you get past the fantasy creatures and the fantasy aspects of it, there's a lot about it that makes it so that it's a bit more realistic. Having to make flint tools, having to deal with temperature modifications, that sort of thing, that's realism. That's enjoyable for those who want realism. Who want realism. And who want a challenge. Yes. Again, I understand. I understand, Jar Jar. I do. There, and there, and this one out. Trying to get this barn positioned where I like it is being a little hard. I'm trying to build a barn. Somewhere that I can put the animals that is enclosed indoors where they'll be safe. So that, say if there's a lightning storm, a thunderstorm, I won't have to worry about lightning hitting my pigs and turning them into zombie piglins. Because that is still a thing. Pigs, if hit by lightning, will turn into zombie piglins, which is something I don't want to have happen. Yeah, I get that, Jer. I get that. Base it on some level of realism, right? Base it on something realistic. I can understand that. Now, as to your earlier question about what mod am I using, I'm actually using a lot of mods. I'm using a custom mod pack that I assembled called Seeker's Realm. It's called Seeker's Realm. It's got lots of mods in it, such as Create, Refine Storage, Storage Drawers, a few exploration theme mods like Explorify, End Remastered, Oh, the Biomes You'll Go, which is what adds in this custom tree over here, as well as a few other trees and different new biomes. But yeah, it's a custom mod pack. Mods were not made by me. I just put them together in a single pack. And honestly, I am really glad that I did because it has been very enjoyable so far. So far, the mod has been extremely enjoyable, and I think I'm in a sticky position. I think I need to make this... I think I actually need to make it 1 block wider. I need to make it 1 block wider so that I can have the roof and the door. Because I kind of want to make the door behave like a normal barn door. I want the door to be able to slide open to the sides, like a normal barn door. Yes, there you go. There you go, Slicky. That's the kind of balance that I would prefer mode that Minecraft aimed for. Not too much fantasy, but also not too much realism either. Kind of blend them. Of course, there are some aspects I prefer having over others in the realism department, or that I would prefer to have handled a certain way, but leave it about it. For the record, if I talk gibberish like that, I'm not actually trying to mean anything by it. I'm just... don't know what I have to say about it. So do I, Jer. So do I. I have wished time and time again that Bedrock Edition could be modded the same way as Java. The problem that prevents that, though, is that they're made in different programming languages. Like, obviously, Java Edition is made with Java programming language. I want to say that Bedrock was made with the C++ programming language. And they're not exactly compatible. So, you can't have mods from one be compatible with the other. In most cases. I think there might be some exceptions, but most of them can't. Alright, Ginger. Hey, thanks for tuning in, pal. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Alright, did I put away the beef that I picked up from those cows? Because I'm getting low on food again. Oh, better. Good thing I checked in there. Pork chops. That'll work just as good. That'll work just as good. I like pork chops. Pork chops and steak are both really, really good, both in Minecraft and in real life. If you've never tried one or the other in real life and it doesn't go against your preferred diet, I recommend trying it. I recommend trying them both. They're really good. Alright. I actually need to knock out some space here because I'm going to end up having... I'm going to have the door be able to slide to the sides to open up. That's going to require a create mechanism to make it work, but I'm sure I can figure something out to make it work. I'm not entirely sure if I want it to be this big, but I do want it to be big enough that the barn doors can actually look like barn doors. to a degree. So, let me think here. That actually brings me to another idea. Barn. Is there a barn door? There is a barn door. They do have barn doors, but they're not quite what I was thinking of. They don't look quite like the barn doors that I was thinking of doing. Well, I wish I could turn those back. I could turn them back. Can they still be used like the other ones, or am I doomed in that respect? I'm doomed. Okay. So snap. Let's put some of these in here. Whoops, I put one too many. Grab these, and we'll try making the barn door for educational purposes. We'll see if it looks good. Maybe we'll use it for now, and then make the big barn doors later. Can these be made to link up? They can. Okay. They are small. They're very small. They're small, and they're not very wide. So they don't quite fit. I mean, they'll fit on the side, but I think I want to do spruce for those doors. That way they're kind of different. That way they're easily seen. You can easily see, oh, hey, here's another way to get in. Here's one way we can get in that doesn't require any big effort to open the door. That kind of thing. But yeah, so we'll have that figured out. But yeah, I want to do big barn doors with the pattern on them that slide to the sides. And I want to say those kinds of doors are normally for, like, if you have big things like plows or carts, or in the modern times, like tractors that you need to move into the barn. Or if you need to move a lot of animals in and out of the barn, you got big doors so that you can do that pretty easily. And we'll probably make some doors that we can open up during the day to let the animals roam around in a big set of pens. And we'll also have indoor pens. Who knows? We might even put some horses in here. Might even put a couple of horses in here if we can get some good ones. You know, I just thought of something. Did I add... I did not. Wait. What's that? Oh, that's the scarecrows. Carts. Carts are not a thing. Okay. I thought I added that mod, but I may have to see if it's out there. Actually, let me check that right now. Let me see if it's even a thing. If it is a thing, then it's something I'll need to add to the pack. Carts. Horse carts. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one that I was thinking of. I think that's the one I was thinking of. Yep, that's the one. The only reason I didn't add that one, I think, is because I couldn't figure out how it would actually work with what I already had. So I think I'll try to add that to between streams, and then we'll see what that looks like later. Hey there, Michaelenko. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you can make it to the stream. See, I think we will end up designing the doors themselves, and then we'll make them move later. For now, I want to continue working on the structure of this. One downside of this barn that I'm looking at, you can't see the other side of it. Oh, I guess I can just have that side be just like flat. Yeah, I can probably have just be flat. Again, kind of a basic, almost stereotypical barn design, but it's a working barn design, and that's all I really care about, is that it will work. It'll work for me, and it'll be able to store all my animals. Have you? Nice. Yep, this is going to be the barn. I'm trying to make it out of cherry wood, and I'm trying to make it so that it'll be nice and big with a loft, if I can manage it, so that we'll have plenty of room to store certain items, lots of room to decorate as well, and plenty of room for the animals to be penned up and worked with as needed. I'm just not entirely sure how I'm going to arrange the animals. I think I need to get out my spruce fences, and I think we'll actually use spruce logs, stripped spruce logs probably, as supports in the interior. So let me see here. If I do this, and then that, and then we can have a door over here where the animals at this side can go out. Because I do want the animals to be able to go in and out. I want them to be able to go inside and outside of the barn. I don't want them to always be stuck inside, but I want there to be room for them to move around. We will have to clear out a few more trees. And yes, I did some very brief wood grinding. The beauty of having Create in here is that we can farm materials very easily. Thanks to the mechanical saw and hand crank, it doesn't take very long to get a lot of wood chopped down in a hurry. All you have to do really is connect up all the trees you want to knock out with the same kind of log, and then break the bottom log of one of the trees. And I will give a demonstration right here. Again, it's so simple, and this trick is very, very effective. And then when you got double wide trees, it's even easier, because all you have to do is knock out the 3 of the bottom 4 logs, and then let the mechanical saw knock out the last one. And boom, there go all those trees. Loads of trees out of the way in an instant. It's a very helpful process to clear up a lot of room and get a lot of wood very quickly. Super efficient. Oh, snap. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one had... Okay, my bad. If I place you there... Yep, there we go. And turn. There we go. See? See how I knocked out all those trees in one shot? It's because they were all connected by the same type of wood. That's a trick that I figured out pretty early on, once I started fiddling around with Create to decide if I really wanted to work with it. Good for clearing out lots of trees in a hurry. You can knock out a whole forest doing it that way. You really could. You could knock out an entire forest using that trick in just one easy fell swoop. In just one bit of work, you can fell an entire forest. Which I would recommend making sure you replant the trees so that you have wood again. But it is an option. It is an option. Okay, let's see. How many blocks outward is this? 4. So if we do that again, yeah, because that also correlates to how much room is implied by the doors, or the size that the doors are going to be. Question. Log. Is there a white wood? There are ghost logs. There's ghost logs, and then there's Palo Verde. What the heck? Oh, that's something from Pam's Harvest Craft. Because it said log. Okay, yep. And then there's ancient logs. Where do you find ancient logs? Those are part of Quark. I know, right? A lot of what's in the mod pack is stuff that I wish was in the real game. And that's kind of why this is both a Vanilla Plus mod and... this mod pack is meant to be Vanilla Plus in a lot of ways. It's not all it's meant to be, but it is one of the main things it is meant to be. It's a mod pack that encourages exploration and clever use of materials to do farming. So I think over here we might do... Maybe this is where we'll do pigs. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the support beams for the barn, because I want this to be believable as it actually existing as much as possible. That doesn't quite work there, does it? Huh. Okay, so... yeah, that doesn't quite work at all, does it? Oof. It's because this thing is... it's even number on that side. No, it's even on both sides, isn't it? It is. It's even on both... Trying to get this thing to work is a little annoying sometimes. Let's knock out that one. I'm just going to be dealing with a different amount of space. And this is a project that's going to take a while, I'm sure, to get it just right. To get it just right is going to take a while. I think part of the problem is that I want to make these doors so big. Maybe they don't need to be so big. I mean, I need them to be big enough that I can do the trim. The white trim on the doors. That you normally see with barn doors. How big is the space? If I do... doesn't quite work. What the heck? Wait a minute, wait a minute. If I move this one over one more block. And I don't need to give them a whole lot of room in here. If I wanted to worry about having the animals have a lot of room, they're gonna have... most of them are gonna have pens on the outside, too. So I shouldn't be too worried about that. And then do that there, and that keeps it even. Okay. Okay, Jagar. Now you're cooking. Now we're cooking! Yeah, now we're getting things to work right. Now we're looking at things correctly. Let me take a glance at another aspect of this. Barn interior. I want to see a reference to the barn interior. If possible. Images, and... Yep. Ah, hold on. Doesn't give you an interior shot of that one, does it? Nope, it doesn't really do that. That's fine. That's fine. I was gonna try to take a little inspiration from something, but guess I don't really need to. I mean, I can figure this out. I can figure this out. I just wanted to see if maybe there was a way I could get a little reference. And this will make things a little different with part of my plan? Wait a minute. Am I doing this right? Ah, I see what's happening. This one is moved over too far. It's throwing me off. I assumed that I placed the logs back in the right locations. I assumed wrong. Okay. Yeah, and I think that'll provide enough support in terms of realism of the structure to make it work. And then... because if I do add the carts thing, I want them to be able to have somewhere to go to be stored. And that'd be right over here. It'd be along this wall here. And then I can bring the horse through here and hook it up to the cart and have it then take the cart on its way out. Because there are a couple of different kinds of carts in the cart mod that I want to add. It's horse carts, to clarify. Okay, we got space for chickens, pigs, cows, sheep, and they're all going to have outdoor pens, which I'll try to make big as much as I can. I'll try to make them relatively big. I have to knock out some of these trees, but some of these have harvest craft fruit hanging from them that I'll then have to store. I may have to make a dedicated chest for that now. Great. I'm gonna have a chest monster on my hands before it's over with. Then again, I think I already kind of knew that. And that's part of why I added refined storage and storage drawers to the mod pack. Because I knew if anybody was like me when they went to play the mod pack, and I for sure when I finally got to play it, I was gonna end up having to deal with what we call chest monsters. A chest monster is basically when you have lots of chests with random items in them that you're not really organizing at the time. And so it becomes cluttered and disorganized, and there's just tons of chests full of tons of items all over the place, and you have no idea how you're going to be able to fix it. The only way to really fix it is to stop and pack up all the stuff that's in the chest monster and store it all away in an organized fashion. But not many people want to have to go through that process. Completely understandable, I'd say. I for one get tired of having to stop and organize my items in Minecraft. It is a tedious, annoying process. But if you don't do it, then you're gonna end up with the same situation I'm gonna be dealing with. You have to stop and actually go through every chest, every barrel, every shulker box if you have them, every single storage implement of any kind, modded or vanilla, and you're going to have to pluck everything out and put it all in organization of some sort. But again, that's why I added storage drawers and refined storage, because they are simple solutions to the storage problem. Extremely simple solutions. Refined storage, unfortunately, does require you to have access to the Nether already. So since I don't, I can't use it right now. Storage drawers, on the other hand, does not have such requirements. So we'll be able to use that to get things going on the storage front. I just need a space that I can dedicate to that. Because right now my space in the house is limited. So I was already thinking maybe the loft of the barn will be kind of repurposed to be storage. Either that, or it'll at least be maybe the silo that we'll build next door will be storage. Because there will be a silo. There's going to be a silo next door. Barns usually have a grain silo nearby to help store that stuff. We'll probably end up having one of those ourselves. But that way we'll be able to have that going for us. But we'll see. I'm still not entirely sure of what else I'm going to build. I have an idea for a project that I am definitely going to do with this base, but it's going to take time to get there. Well, I personally would recommend the mangrove wood. What is that one called? Bring up logs. Oh yeah, I got it right. Mangrove. I would personally recommend using mangrove for a barn. It's a deeper, richer red than what you will get from, let's do stem. You see this crimson stem, it's more of a purple. It's not necessarily red. So my personal recommendation would be to go with the mangrove wood for making a barn. If you want to do red. If you want to do red, and you want it to be a actual red, then I'd recommend going for the mangrove. You'll have to find a mangrove swamp, but it's not that hard to find them in vanilla. All you gotta do is just look for swampy biomes, and you'll find one for sure. I just don't know how long it would take you to find one. That's my one warning. It could take you a little time to find one. It may not. It honestly just depends. But that's what I would recommend doing for a vanilla barn if you want to do it in red. Red concrete is also pretty good, though. Red concrete is also a good option. I was just offering a suggestion, that's all. I'm not saying you have to do it anyway. You do it however you want to do it, but that's just me putting in a kind of a 2 cents worth of advice, suggestion. Let's go with suggestion. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me see. Okay, and then yeah, I'm gonna need to knock out these trees because these are kind of in the way. These ones are kind of in my way. I wish they weren't. I didn't want to have to knock out any trees with Harvestcraft stuff in them yet. Because I know nothing about Harvestcraft. I don't know what's in it. I don't know how any of it works. I just knew that it was in some mod packs, and that it was, to some degree, a food mod. And I like the idea of there being more food items in the game. So I wanted to see if I could add it in. Was it going to work okay with the other food thing that I did, like I added cooking for blockheads, and I wanted to see if Pam's Harvest Craft and cooking for blockheads could work together. If they can, great. If not, then I'll have to remove the Harvest Craft, because I want to have cooking for blockheads. Cooking for blockheads I want to have. Because I like the idea of being able to make different kinds of foods. And I like the idea of having a functional kitchen in a house. Or if you do a restaurant build for some reason. I wanted to add stuff that there would be a little bit of everything for everybody, is what I was ultimately going for. And I'm just hoping that I've achieved that without going over the top with this mod. Yeah, I would not recommend doing red wool. Good bright red color, but no. I do not recommend doing. I wouldn't recommend doing that either. Red wool might have the right color, but it probably won't. It won't work quite as well as you might like. Okay. Make this pen nice and big. I think that this one's going to be the chickens. I'm pretty sure. This one's going to be chickens. And then... I'm not sure what I'm going to do over here. Is it going to be... I just want to have the chickens have lots of room to move around. Maybe. Either that or that'll be the cows. That might end up being the cows. We'll see. We'll see what animals I put where. I do know that I at least want to have pens on the outside where they have extra room to walk around. So I may make this pen shorter. I may make this pen smaller. Again, either that or I'm just going to put the cows there. In fact, I do think the cows are going to be the ones that go in this pen because I definitely need a lot of cows because I'm going to need all the material, all that they can give in being farmed. And I am out of spruce fences. Wow. I did not see that coming. Let's go ahead and make a few more. And then we've got enough spruce fence gates to put one there, one there, one there, and one there. So we've got spaces set up for the animals. We just have to put in the walls and doors in their sections so that they don't get out once we put them in place. There we go. That'll work. That's good enough for me for right now, for the sake of the animals. I want to get them into their pens so that I can start farming. Oh, that's right. I have to have both hands open. Unfortunately, in order to move animals with the carry-on, or to move any kind of mob with carry-on, to move anything with carry-on, you have to have both your main hand and your offhand empty. So, something to bear in mind for if you, if you get to play the mod pack, or if you play with the carry-on mod. I forgot to close the gates. I forgot to close the gate. Dummy. Gotta make sure you close the gate. Otherwise the animals get out. Alright, Michaelenko. See ya. Hey, thanks for tuning in, pal. Appreciate it. Always appreciate having you around. One cow there. Cool. Those finally all dropped. So we can put those there and get on with moving the rest of the animals. Oi! Oi, oi, oi! Big hoofer. Come here. Hey, actually went on the right side. Good. Okay, next we want pig. Here, piggy pig, 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 pig. Here, piggy pig. Here, Wilbur. Here, Wilbur. Here you go, Wilbur. Orville and Wilbur. That's what we'll call the pigs. We'll call them Wilbur and Orville. And then the chickens. Peck and hen. Hen and peck. Hen peck. Oh, why am I like this? I do not know. Anyway, so we got those guys in place. The animals are in the barn. I just gotta finish building it. Oh, it's weird to put the animals back in the barn when it's not even done being built. But, same time, we're working on it. Oh, ow, 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 that hurt. That hurt. That hurt. Alright, I do need to figure out what kind of wood I want to use to get the white trimming of the barn doors when we go to do the barn doors. Gotta figure out how I want to do the sliding mechanism of the barn doors, because I want them to be able to slide open at the push of a button. That way, if we do have if we do have carts, or if we try to move a bunch of animals for some reason, we can easily get them all out through the barn doors at the end of the barn itself. I think they're going to be like 5x5 doors. Basically, each door will be 5x5 blocks, big and wide. How did you get out? How did you get out? Oh! I am dense. I forgot to make sure the logs were 2 block tall. If the logs aren't tall, I lost my other chicken then. The other chicken's gone. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. Come here, you little stinker. I'm so dense. Why don't I think of these kinds of things? Sometimes I just don't think. Okay, both pigs, both sheep, and both cows were still in place. It was just the chickens that managed to pull another escape. Good. Just the chickens pulling an escape. Escape. Why am I like this? Okay, so yeah, I've got a little space over here. I've got a space back here where I can put carts. I can put in a ladder leading up to a loft where we can have storage of hay bales. Those for decorative purposes. We can decorate the floor of each pen with podzol to kind of simulate how they turn up the dirt under their feet, or under their hooves and feet. And I can also put in feeding troughs to make so we can passively farm all the animals. I have to make sure that they're up against a wall and not up against a fence. Not up against a fence, but up against a wall where these guys can access it without being able to climb onto it and then over the fences. That's the big problem. I've got to think of where to put them so that they can't get out using the fences. Or get over the fences. I can't put the troughs in the ground. I wish I could. If I could, that would be great, but I can't. If I was sure that I could put them at the end of... If I was sure I could put the troughs at the... up against the fences, I just put them in corners of each pen and let the animals feed from there, but I've seen animals have a tendency to get on top of the troughs when these troughs are in the mod packs, and I don't know if they can get if it basically behaves for them like a slab. They can walk on top of it, and then there's that risk that they can use it to get out. And I don't want that. I do not want that at all. If that happens, it's a nuisance, to say the least. So I don't want that. I need to take another look. Log. Just log. Not logs. We got Keisha log case? What? Huh. I guess that's like a... And then we got hollow logs. Okay. Is there a grayish log? Is there a grayish wood? Oh! Ow! There's white mangrove. Huh. Let's figure out where that is. Or there's withering oak logs. Withering might look good. We'll see. I'll have to find out where all these wood types are. But some of them might be good. Some of them might be usable. It's just a matter of figuring out what I actually want to do with some of this stuff. I'm not even sure why I was looking at gray wood. Why was it? Oh, because I might use that for the silo. That's why. Because most grain silos that I see are gray. And I'm pretty sure that's just because of the material that they use to make those. But I'd like to keep that level of consistency. Plus, a gray roof would fit the barn. It would fit the barn very well. We are going to have a loft. We'll probably have some windows in the loft like I've got on my house. If you look over there, you can see those windows behave like trapdoors and stairs at the same time. Pop them open, and you can drop in or climb out, depending on which side of it you're on, with relative ease. Now let me demonstrate. I did this earlier. Click. It's open. I can jump out, shut it behind me. It's just like a trapdoor. You can even hear it behaving like a trapdoor. It's got the hitbox of a stair. So it behaves like stairs until you open it, and then you just walk out onto it, and it's just a trapdoor at that point. Very nice. Very nice. And it lets in natural light into whatever space it opens down into. So, whatever space below it, I mean. So, it's very good for that purpose. This attic is very small, very short, but it doesn't need to be big anyway, so. We've got plenty of natural lighting up there. I just placed a torch to help make sure that it stays that way. But, yeah. So, I'm thinking that the loft will have windows like that leading down into it. We'll have an open space in the middle here. Like, the loft will hang over all the stalls around the back and around this side. And then there'll be... part of it will go over between these support logs, which we're going to strip these logs once we have the posts in place. And then we'll have the loft, and the loft will have doors of its own to look out over everything. Kind of, maybe. Starting to lose track of what I'm thinking here. But I know what I want to do with this barn. And I know how I want to do it for the most part. So, we've got a lot to do. I need to get some kind of a gray wood. I need to get a white wood. And I need to put in windows and doors over there. And then once I've got the big barn doors here, we're going to try to figure out a way to make a mechanism that can bring them back and forth, can slide them open and then slide them shut again. Basically, when they're open, they'll slide over to here and over there, and then when they're shut, they'll slide back into place in this space here, where this big gap is in the doorway. And we will probably end up replacing the grass in here with either coarse dirt, or in a couple of the pens, we might put podzol. But that's what we're probably going to do with all this. But I think that's going to have to wait until my next stream, which I might do that over on Twitch. We'll see. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Unfortunately, I do need to take a break for a little bit. But I will be back with more Seeker's Realm later on. So, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on notifications. Check out the About page for links to other pages. And, of course, share the stream or video with your friends if you think they might enjoy it. Share it with anybody you want that you think might enjoy something to help pass the time. And with that all said, thank you again for watching. I am JGuardo1, your guide, bard, and humble host into the worlds virtual and fantastical. And I'll see you all next time, right here on Guardian Studios. Bye!